All right, good morning traders. Welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be going through live order flow analysis using Bookmap. The goal here is to understand the footprints in the sand. The participants in the auction process, understand their behavior, and then where price might go based off of that behavior. This is what you can do with order flow and understanding the auction. The limit buy and sell orders, the passive orders, as well as the context of the aggressive orders, all together within the price structure. That's what we can read and gain some insight to where price might go. We'll even set some trades, but again, these are all for demo purpose only. So let's get into the disclosures. All Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. A risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, a couple different things to go over. This, you guys have been waiting for this, or I know that there's been a lot of requests for this. All next week, we'll have our funded trader webinar series. Okay, so it's usually our pro trader webinar series. We all offer other professional traders to present during the week and go through how they trade. Well, same idea, except it's going to be for those that trade these evaluation accounts and these prop trading firms, and how to pass them, how to become funded, and how to trade to make money from these services. We've got a whole host of new traders in here. The ones that you guys will recognize here: Robert Rother and Scott Pulcini. We've had sometimes in the past, or Scott multiple times. Robert also streams with us every week. Anyway, we'll divulge the list a little bit later, but it's looking great. Have some really interesting guys. All right, we also have some news. The beta programs. If you're interested in gaining access to this new add-on here, that allows you to trade multiple positions for these prop trading firms. I'll demo it for you today, this multi-account add-on. We also have the new Market Pulse Pace of Tape add-ons, as well as a Market Pulse Web. Also the Blue Jacket competition that started on November 10th. So it's in full swing. If you want to join that, you'll just go to bookmap.com/blue jacket. And then our Bookmap Academy, we had our meeting yesterday and went through a bunch of stuff, a lot of great stuff. So let me know if you have any questions on any of that. And let's jump in. Looking at the S&P, you can see that we had our retail sales over here earlier, and look at the drop. So the back and forth in here after retail sales, didn't get much out of that at all. You can just see some volatility and then some buyers in here. The downward movement or trend continued here, as you can see, and has gained a lot of momentum. Okay, where are we headed? All right, and well, we need to look at the bigger picture here first, and we'll also just look at these levels of liquidity in here. Okay, so here's really high level of liquidity. Actually here, here, and here. Okay, and now we're trading down into another one here, okay, at this 59.12. All right, so let's just take a big step back here, and let's see. There were some questions in here, and some guys are in here. I think Yov, I see you in here. So this is something that you wanted to cover, or we talked about. We can go through the elements on the chart in here one at a time, and maybe that's a good exercise, but we'll start with this. This is high liquidity. These are passive orders. These are buyers. These are larger players, okay, because it's large liquidity and they've stayed in the order book here. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of retail traders in some of these areas as well. Now we know the transaction took place here into that high liquidity. Okay, so this is it. This is what it looks like right here. We can zoom in. We can look at, millisecond, microsecond, and even nanosecond resolution here. We're looking at microseconds, so millions of seconds. Here are the transactions taking place right into that high liquidity. Okay, so the transaction was, the deal was met, the handshake happened, the matching engine matched these passive buyers to these aggressive sellers, and that's all we know. Right now, we have an iceberg detector along the way. Look at this, an iceberg getting filled right in front of that high liquidity here for 250 contracts. We have another one right after that as well, just executed for 20. Yeah, so the handshake, or the transaction took place. Look at the divergence in here as well. This is how divergence is read on the micro time scale. Price doesn't drop here, but it sure does on the CVD here, cumulative volume delta. Okay, so anyway, now what happened after that? Okay, well, you can see that there was a bit of a bounce out of that area here. Okay, this is what we anticipate typically. Now, it doesn't have to happen, but you can see we trade into high liquidity here and here. We trade through it. We do not trade down to this high liquidity down here at 59.28 though. Look at the sellers down here. Okay, the aggressors, the red dots. Okay, the market sell orders. There are not many in here. Okay, we start to find some buyers though. Okay, the market starts to kind of exhaust out from the sell side after trading into all of these buyers. They basically absorbed a lot of that selling pressure. So we find buyers come in and they lift it to where? High liquidity offer. Okay, limit sell orders up in these areas here. This is supply. Okay, we kind of pull back for a little bit and we go a bit higher. Again, up into high liquidity. Okay, now let's go through here though, because this is what happened down in these areas here. Okay, high liquidity fills here, and they actually pull here. Okay, so you can see that. So we know, let's just we're kind of zoomed in a little bit here, but what we're going to draw or take away from this these transactions, some of it was pulled in here as well. Some of it transacted, some of it was pulled. Okay, the handshake or the matching engine made the deal here. It also made the deal here. However, we're not getting buyers in here. We're getting more sellers still. So we're dropping. Okay, and what's happening in here? Well, we would anticipate there should be a bounce in here because this is high demand. Now, the transaction took place, but there's still more selling pressure. Okay, and that's that. It's just as simple as that. So around these areas, we're looking for buyers to start to come in, aggressors to start to come in on the buy side. They did not. Okay, so there's still more supply. We're looking to go lower. Now this is where it gets kind of interesting here. There is more supply here, and then these guys pull their demand here from the limit order book. So therefore, if there's more supply in here, I'm looking for them to trade back down to this level here at 22. Okay, we do get a bounce in here, and it retests back to where these sellers transacted here. Okay, right to it. This is where we just don't find any more buyers in here. Okay, but anyway, we can kind of draw some conclusions from here. They're going to pull that high liquidity, and we still have sellers in control of this move here. Right, so we look for the next level. Now, we don't get much of a bounce here. We trade back down again to the lower level here, and then we get a little bit of a bounce. We're just not finding many buyers. Okay, so we're still looking for sellers to take it into high liquidity. Okay, until we start to see clusters of buyers starting to take over here. Now they start to do that in here, in fact. Okay, but look where they go. Okay, They come back up, and they can't even get above this swing up here at 22, at 59.22. All right, now of course this is all hindsight. However, this is, and understanding this in hindsight will allow us to then extrapolate this information into the current market, right? Because in here, I'd actually be looking for them to trade back up to this high liquidity here at 23 and 25 up here, and they didn't. They couldn't. So we continue on lower into high liquidity all the way down here. Then we get a little bit of a bounce. Okay, we get a retest down to these areas in here. Where are the sellers here? Not many, not many. Okay, we get a bounce. We trade into the high liquidity above. Now, actually, it's kind of getting interesting here. Okay, so our clusters of buying here and here. Let me get the pen tool out. Our clusters of buying in here, also here, and here, we might start to see a trend change. Okay, so we know high liquidity was filled all the way down and from previous levels as well. So on the bid, there's a lot of traders getting filled. Okay, a lot of larger players getting filled. Good morning, Pete. Yeah, happy Friday indeed. Now let's see if we get this kind of shift and change. Now let's look at the volume bars down here as well. Okay, now I haven't looked at a higher time frame yet, and that's really important. I wanted to cover that in today's webinar about higher time frames. Yov, actually, I'm wondering if you were able to get into the all markets Bruce chat here, right? Let me show you. It's here, right? So this is where you are in this room here, but what you need to do is you need to pop out. You'll see the button down here someplace. Pop out the window for the presentation. Okay, and then you can click in here in the all markets chat, and then you can see the comments in here. Okay, so like I was said earlier today, like good morning Tapesh, Alois, Hector, Rob, Trader Pete, and there's Dan for you to help out right there. Yeah, now you should be able to find it. Okay, excellent. All right, so let's jump back in here. All right, so now this is what I want to cover, okay, on a bit of a higher time frame. Good morning, Mr. No Luck. Are we starting to see a potential reversal unfold here? Well, maybe, but not quite yet. We're still trending down. All right, now this is what I want to cover in the Learning Center. This is a great resource. Go to education, and then we're going to, there's the Getting Started course, which will help you learn about all the different things in here. So for example, the columns, if you have questions on the columns, the session range volume profile columns, you'll see it in here. Okay, here's volume columns. Click on that, and it covers it in here. All right, so this should be very helpful for you. Other courses, our market mechanics course, being able to understand really
book here,
like these diagrams in here about understanding order flow at a binary level and what affects price. Okay, I highly recommend that you watch this. Anybody watch this or even revisit it and check it out. Another thing to go check out, this is what I wanted to cover here, was the strategies and setups. We have one here for reversal in a diagram form. Okay, let me just open it up here and show you what we're looking for in this live market right now. A higher low is, okay, we're looking for this transaction to unfold here. Bigger here. Okay, we're looking for, and I don't want to see that. Okay, high liquidity. We know high liquidity was filled on the bid all the way down. Big move to the downside. Now we're looking for pockets of buying. We already noticed that. Okay, in fact, it came back to where these transactions took place. We came back down and we trade into high liquidity. Now we're looking for either an equal high or even breaks the high here, but we're looking for more buyers still. Okay, and then we might just go in a sideways action in here. We don't know that. You know, it just might go back and forth in here, and just stay like in a zone like this. Okay, but now what we're going to be looking for is the less sellers to come in, and then more buyers to start to come in on the other side here. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. And then you can even, like, this is a very aggressive way of trading a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern. But I wanted to cover it because this way, because we can turn this into a continuation pattern later, which is fantastic. Yeah, anyway, now we're looking for less sellers and buyers to start to come in and press price higher. And now we're starting to target high liquidity on the offer, and look for pullbacks in that possible continuation pattern of strong impulse move, slight pullback, followed by strong impulse move. So now let's take that to what's happening here. Okay, so we're not getting it right now. Okay, there's still more selling pressure. So we were poised and ready for it in here. The potential for it was here. We have our clusters. We have our high liquidity getting filled on the bid. And we even breached the swing here, okay, into high liquidity up here. So this is starting to set up. Okay, so now what we're looking for is more buyers to start to come in. Okay, and they're not coming in. We do see buyers in here, okay, no doubt, but they're not gaining any traction, and they're not able to lift price higher. We need to see them lift the price away from that area. They are not. Okay, so we're still going lower. Sellers still moving the market lower. Right, so this would, you know, the criteria is not here to get involved into this reversal trade at this time. Right, so we're still going lower. Okay, so anyway, we'll continue to look for it. All right, now in what we're looking for now is just to continue into lower liquidity into these levels here. You know, we never know, right? This might be the shoulder basing here, and this might turn into the head here. Maybe this is as far as it goes. Maybe it trades only into this high liquidity here at 06 and does not make it down into the 5,900 figure down in this area here, in this high liquidity here. And we don't know, right? But that's what we're looking for. I'm looking for still continuation here, okay, down into these areas of high liquidity, okay, until I see something different. Right? Now look at all these icebergs filled along the way, some nice stuff in here. This is also absorption. 914 contracts traded here, okay, and 132, 212. There's icebergs on both sides in here, to be honest, at the moment. 512 here on the offer. Okay, so these are sellers here. This is passive liquidity here. Anyway, all right, we're putting the pieces together. We're staying sell side until we see something else. Okay, the figures down here, we know that, and we're just kind of waiting and watching here. All right, one thing and we'll see, right? I mean, our market timing is another thing in here. Okay, we're approaching the 10:30 hour. Typically, that's when we start to get pullback moves based off of our studies. Okay, and it's kind of setting up nice for that pullback move. And where would that pullback go? All right, well, let's take a look here. I'd be looking for this area in here. Looks pretty good to me. And then we know the mean reversion trade would be back up into your high volume node up here. But we can also look at this area up here. And then, yeah, we can look at that high volume node, or maybe align it here with some of the price action back and forth. Okay. All right, so our trend line is starting to break, but not finding sellers in these levels here yet. So maybe we'll see this start to unfold. All right, traded into some high liquidity here. Some of it was pulled. So yeah, don't see anything yet. Don't see them bidding up underneath here. This is another thing that's really great to see in Bookmap, is that the order book, the sellers are, or I'm sorry, the buyers are here on the bid in these levels here. Okay, we're looking for them to bid up, and we don't see that yet. Right, so we don't have a lot of pieces in here yet, even though this structure is starting to break. We don't see the aggressors yet, and we don't have a bullish book here either yet. All right. Let's see, a few questions. Good morning, Malek. Yeah, I can see your message here. Yeah, this is the room, the all markets room for this webinar. Okay, go visit some of the other rooms when others are presenting as well. Okay, Tom B, he'll be presenting in about an hour. So you can go over to, same thing, go to his event room, but then you also have a chat room for him. All right, so here's what's happening right now. We're getting a little bit of a bid now underneath here, and our trend line broke, and we're starting to see a bit of aggression in here from the buyers, market buy orders. We just traded into high liquidity. I still don't really quite believe in it yet as a potential reversal. Let's go now. We covered the reversal pretty well and what we're looking for in criteria. Got some really nice divergence in here as well. I want to cover though the higher time frame, okay, because this is where we can really look for something great. Here we have on just a very simple candlestick chart with volume in the subchart. That's it. This is a daily chart on the left. This is an hourly here in the middle, and on the right we have a 15-minute chart. Okay, look at this momentum to the downside. Okay, tremendous. And look where we've gone so far. We've come down to where price opened up the other day here. I forget which day this was. It looks like it was Wednesday. Yeah. So we're retesting where it opened from here. Hey, look at this huge gap in here. Are we going to fill the gap today? Maybe. That we would see price come back down into this 58 level. So we're looking for, that's a huge move, but we know the market can do it. There's a huge move to the upside. This is another thing to start to judge and understand is ATR. How much pressure, buying pressure is in the market, how much selling pressure is in the market. Okay, now is that a really likely scenario? I would say no. It might, but I would say, like, I'm looking for the swing here. This is 5,900 and a little bit below it, maybe like 5-10 points below it. Hook everybody, get them going short, get them stopped out, people putting their swings down or their stops below the swing here, and then maybe come back up and explore the gap up here. Okay, because nothing has auctioned up in here for the cash session. Okay, huge gap here on the for today as well. Okay, 15-minute chart showing it pretty nicely here, as well as the hourly. All right, so I'm still looking for higher time frame. I'm still looking for momentum to the downside. Okay. All right. So is this kind of are we really looking for our momentum or our move at this point to see that reversal? I don't know. I mean, I think what we're seeing is still a downtrend, and it's just starting to flatten out, like we kind of mentioned in the video here. I'll show you where. Yeah, here you can see how it kind of flattens out a little bit as price goes to the downside. Okay. All right. So yeah, more momentum still making a lower low here for the day. All right, let's see. Okay, I want to show you guys also the NASDAQ, and we can go through some of the order flow stuff in there. Okay, because sometimes S&P is working pretty well here right now, but we want to get into some of the order flow, and I have revisited the over the last few sessions the Nasdaq, and I always loved trading the Nasdaq with the order flow. But here's what I want to demo is the multi-account tool that we have. So you guys, yeah. So this is for the S&P. Turn it on. But here's let me go through the process in here, and I want to show you a couple different things, and we'll add the Nasdaq here. Okay, so here we go. Click on the add instrument here from Bookmap Data Futures CME, and you can get Bookmap data off of our website. I'm gonna hit the NQ here. You can see all the different contracts, but also just if I hit the NQ here, it will go to the current current contract, and the tick size is going to be, you can't change it, but anyway, we'll look at 1 hour of historical data and click subscribe. And I didn't do it here. I think because I did it earlier, the Nasdaq popped up, but you'll also get a message that pops up and says, do you want to open the symbol for TraderMap Lite? Okay, because the Nasdaq data in here, you're going to see these bands of this bot here. Okay, this robot that is providing liquidity on the offer and on the bid in these areas. Okay, here you can see it really clearly, right? And it kind of screws up the heat map and the liquidity, and it's a bot. You know, they're not willing to trade until it reaches a certain area, and then they will trade. So we have this bot remover from the Nasdaq and also the S&P with it's a free product called TraderMap Lite. Okay, so it's only for Nasdaq and NQ. The TraderMap Pro will work for any other market. Okay, the bot remover, I'm not sure if it will work for any other market, but I know it will work for the Russell, that's for sure. I guess it works for any market. All right, so now let's take a look at the Nasdaq and see what's going on. Oh yeah, this is why I came over here. I want to show you the cross trading and then also trading into the multi-account here. Okay, so I have multi-account already selected for it. Here's Pete's. We demoed it for you, Pete. The multi-account bot that we added here. So first off, let's start trading here. Okay, so from the cross trading here, from the drop down, I want to select where I'm going to trade it. So now this is Bookmap data here, okay, off of the TraderMap Lite chart. But I want to trade it back into my Rhythmic paper trading account. So I select that instrument here and I click start. Now you can see the message pops up. I've selected cross trading. You will now trade this NQZ4 from my NQZ4.CME chart here, which is Bookmap data. Okay, but I'll be trading into this instrument here, right? So I get the data off of this chart, but I trade into another chart. And then we'll add, we'll select from the drop down, we want to trade from either the chart or the DOM, and then we'll add in our contract amount here of 5, and then let's see here. Got, all right. Actually, let's go back to 1 because I'm going to be spinning this off into 3 different accounts. Okay, so let's go back to our multi-account here, and we're going to get rid of you, Pete. Here, we're going to add a new one, and I don't know. We'll call it Pete 2. How about that? And the primary account here is going to be from, this is rhythmic paper trading. Now, if you're using Apex, Top Step, Bullnox, all these different services out there, you will select a primary account here from the drop down. And then what you're going to do is select what other accounts you want to trade it into, and you will see them listed here. Okay, so if I had a Bullnox account with 4 or 5 different accounts in here, you will see them. Now I'm going to select them because I want to trade into them, and you'll see a multiplier here as well. So here in the 60.1, I'm going to put in 2 contracts. So for every one that I trade into 60, there will be 2 that trade into the 60.1. And for every one that I trade in the 60, there will be 4 that will trade into the 60.2. Okay, so we have that as well. We'll save it, and now we need to select it. And we're good to go. All right, we can close this up, and we're all set to trade here. All right, well, let's take a look. And what do we see here? Got candles up here. I'll go over the candles with you guys a little bit later. But yeah, there's something I wanted to cover as well today. A lot of things I wanted to cover today. All right. So how's NASDAQ doing? Okay, we're starting to see maybe that potential reversal here. Let's go back to the NASDAQ on the higher time frame here and zoom out a bit. Okay, so now we just, we can see that we just made lower lows in here. And now we're starting to see this is going to be a huge stop run. And we're starting to see some buying come in now. Okay, now we saw the clusters of buying in here, right? We're still in a downtrend. Sellers are still moving the market. Okay, so maybe we just trade up to here, these transactions here, and maybe we sell off. Okay, let's zoom in here. Let's take a look, and then we'll look at Trader Map Lite here. Okay, so we're looking at this liquidity here, 2,600, the figure. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's see if we can get a move into there. There we go, and through it. Okay. All right, now I'm looking for sellers though, because that's the area that we just talked about, and we're not getting any at the moment, right? So I'm looking for a pullback after trading into that high liquidity. Okay, so now I just was taken into that trade, and we're trading down into high liquidity. Okay, now I'm going to try to take my profit here, or maybe go a little bit lower here. Maybe this front run this high liquidity down here at this 25.90. Okay, so that's where I'm looking to trade. Okay, now we're filled. All right, so let's just go through the criteria for this trade. Okay, and why did I trade? This looks horrible to trade up here. Okay, well, maybe I just got lucky. Or maybe, like, out of all the statistics that we look for high liquidity to trade in a downtrend, maybe this is a legitimate thing to look for. Maybe it's both, right? So let's take a look at it though. Okay, Web Trading Journal lost connection. All right, so actually I can show you the Web Trading Journal as well. A nice product that we have, but let's take a look here. All right, so in fact, first off, let's take a look at our multi-account. Okay, we're going to open the panel here, and then let's take a look at our executions. Okay, just a minute here. All right, here are our executions. Okay, and this is for today, right? Right. Okay, so it got spread out a little bit here. This is what it looks like. Okay, so yeah, these are all the trades that we took in here. Okay, so we just took one order here, right, in the NQ, and we sold. Okay, it hit us, filled us here. There's our order ID. Again, this is rhythmic paper trading at the price of this 5.99. Here's my execution. Here's the time, and it was live. And this is where I bought it back. Okay, you can see the timestamps here. Now look at what are all these other orders? Well, these are the other ones that we took from the multi-account. Here it added the 60.1. Remember, that was 2 contracts. Okay, and then here's our 60.2. This is where we see we got filled a couple times here. So remember, that was 4, but it split it out a little bit. So here it filled 2, and then here it filled 2. Okay, so our 60, we got in here, we got out here. Our 60.1, we got in here, and then we got out here and here. So this is why it looks a little different. All right, now let's see. Let's just double check here at 50. I'm sorry, at 91.50. Also here at 91.50. Okay, so it didn't fill us with 2 immediately. We got filled with 1 and then the other. Same happened with our 60.2. Okay, we got filled with. We actually got filled on the sell side in 2 separate orders. And then we also got filled with 2 separate orders on the buy side here and then up here. Okay, and that's it, right? So in here, you'll also see your working orders, and down here, you'll see your working orders, and here you'll see your positions. Okay, open positions, that is. Right, so let's do it again. In fact, let's put in some working orders up here to begin with. Okay, and we'll come back in here, we'll take a look at it, open our panel, and here are our working orders. Let me just get rid of one of them. Try that again. Okay, because it spits out 3. So here's the one that this is our order here off of this chart, and it will trade it into the rhythmic paper trading. So we have our 1 order here, but we also have 2 orders from our 60.1 account and 4 orders in our 60.2 account here. Okay, now you can cancel your orders here as well if you like. You can cancel all, cancel, whatever you want in here. You see 3 different buttons. Now let's also get involved into a position, and then we'll also show what that looks like. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit here. And I don't have much data in the Trader Map Lite at the moment, but we can look at our NASDAQ regular chart here and what that looks like. Okay. All right, now we just made a bit higher low here. Interesting. Okay, so things are starting to maybe turn around a little bit. Okay, we don't know. We're still in a downtrend, no doubt about that. Okay, but this is what I mean. Okay, is this where we start to turn around? Okay, well, we don't know. Do we find buyers at a higher level on the bid in here? Okay, let's turn on the trading. Yeah, you can see them bidding up a little bit here. All right, so right in here. Well, let's go back to our Trader Map Lite and take a look. Yeah, okay, so we just kind of missed it actually. They just traded into some of that high liquidity here, and then we're finding buyers. Right, look at them bid up in these areas here too. All right, so maybe I can be a buyer here on a pullback. Okay. Now we're missing it. We're totally missing it. They kind of pulled some of that high liquidity. Now they traded into high liquidity. We should get a bit of a pullback here. Okay, or at least a pause. There's our pullback. Okay, let's see if we can get filled down here in front of that high liquidity down here. Nope. No, we missed it again. This is what happens with limit orders. Okay. Another thing to take a look at in here is market structure. And now we're probably going to get filled. Okay, so now we're filled. Okay, this is the price we wanted. This is the price we got. Right now, there's still more selling pressure. Right now, what I want to show here is we'll come back in here, open our panel. Now look at my working orders here. Or, I'm sorry, my position here. You can flatten them here as well if you want. But here's my 60 with one contract, my 60.1 with two contracts, and my 60.2 with four. Right. All right. Let me know if you have any questions on any of this. All right, let's take a look here now. Okay, we were looking for that potential reversal. This is what we're looking for. We got in and it went against us immediately. Strong selling right after we got filled here. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, let's just take a look at the context here. Well, we front ran that high liquidity and we see that there's just simply more selling pressure. Okay, high liquidity filled all the way down, no pauses at all. So the sellers have kind of re-engaged here, pushing price lower. All right, so now this is against us. We'll see, are we going to continue on lower or are we going to start to see maybe a turnaround? Okay, well, let's take a look at our higher time frames. All right, this is what we're looking for from that. I don't have a NASDAQ chart. I just have one NASDAQ chart here. Let's minimize that one. We'll just go off the S&P. This is what we're looking for on the higher time frame, was to test the swing low from Wednesday. Just haven't quite tested it yet. So I'm still looking for the S&P to go lower. Okay, so our NASDAQ, well, we don't really quite know. We can try it here. And look at minute bars and look at, yeah, okay, so we are actually below into the gap area here, okay, on the NASDAQ. Let's try a 15-minute chart. What does that look like? Okay. All right, well, we're still going lower here. Now, maybe this is kind of what I was looking for, or thinking about looking for on that S&P, was go below or into the gap here, and then see a bounce back. Now, just a bounce back to this area in here, okay, and see if we can that might unfold here. Okay, so let's see where that might be on the higher time frame. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Boy, there's really, I mean, it would have to get a big bounce here. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, there's a lot of momentum here to the downside. I don't know. We can look at some of these swings in here. You know, maybe up to this kind of, what is that, 600? Yeah, somewhere around 600 or so, right? That would be up here, right? This swing here. If we're getting to get that bounce here. A lot of buying. Okay, are the buyers getting traction? Okay, are they bidding up on the bid in here? Yep, there we go. Look at that. Wow, now we're in profit. I'm just going to take it, guys, because here's why. This is weird. Okay, and now I'm not getting any data. All right, weird. There I go. Now I'm getting data. All right. Here's something that now it's up to you guys. As your brain is processing. Uh, yeah, it this happens, that rubber band, snapped. Just someone came in and just snapped, right? And we're going to see some pretty massive stop runs here. Pete, this is a part of the market, especially part of NASDAQ. And we traded right to that 600, and then now it's starting to fail. Okay, it makes sense, right? Makes sense. Our 600 level here, and then just test it, and then come back into the range here, right? I was not anticipating something like that, and now this is something that I don't know if it's fundamental data, larger player, or both. Some geopolitical, doesn't matter. If the market gives me something very, very quickly, but it's a lot, I will take it. So that's what I did. That was my trading decision. All right, so it seems like an anomaly. Price is super high. I'm going to get out, and it's kind of outside of the norm. It also kind of meets some of the ATR moves in here. You can see this move to the downside kind of matches that on the upside here, right? So for a host of reasons, it just gave us something quickly. I'll take it, and got out. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Well, anyway, interesting stuff. Didn't anticipate that one. We're right back down though to where it broke out from, right here. So good idea to take that. And look where we got in here, and it just pounded against us. But we got out and made a little profit there. This one. Again, this is demo, guys. So take it for what it is. Oh, talk about blunders. Yeah, Mr. No Luck, I made a pretty big blunder in my demo account in Bookmap, and my 24/7 simulator account. An open order, large one, filled, or I left it open. So basically, I had some orders, limit orders left open. Price went away, and I didn't see it anymore, and got filled on those and just got annihilated. Some weird things kind of happened in the account, but yeah, I need to work with development on that. So EES went back to the start of the move, up 10 handles, down 10 handles. My God, Alois, it's crazy. Guys, be careful. I mean, look, this is what we're dealing with here. I mean, look at this move to the upside here on the daily and the ES. This is out of the norm, and this was all due to the election. Of course, we're going to look for a pullback on that. Where are we going to start to find buyers again? Well, we may come, we can outline, again, we don't know. We're going to look at the footprints in the sand here. However, thank you, Alois. Looks like we got Fed member Collins doesn't see any urgency for lower rates. Yep. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that might be the reaction right there. I don't know, guys. I don't really know what to say here. I don't know really how to read this. This is a very odd time, and how to kind of read the bigger picture here due to this election and what's going on in terms of policy after that election. Okay, so for example, I want to show you something here. And I know you all you're all looking at this stuff too. But here we go. Okay. Euro dollar. Let's look at the daily. No, let's look at the weekly. Okay. Euro dollar. Okay, so this was below parity, is down here someplace, right around here. Okay, here's a buck. And this is where €1 equals $1. Doesn't happen very often. This was back in 2022. And what happened here? Inflation and raising interest rates. And traders thought, that the Fed has to raise rates. Well, they did. And then we see kind of a turnaround here. And we can see that we got into an environment where, especially up in here, well, we're starting to like lower rates as well. The inflation is under control. Okay. Well, we see the move back down. Now this is weeks here, but we after the election here, we see incredible movement to the downside here. Well, pretty strong movement here, no doubt. Why? We have a strong dollar. Why? Well, Trump has talked about a lot of these tariffs, which is traders are starting to show that that's going to be equal a strong dollar, and we're going to have inflation, as well as what else is going to unfold from that? Exports from the U.S. with a strong dollar. It's not looking good, right? So there's a whole host of things kind of going on. And we have euro dollar. Dollar index is flying. Euro dollar, well, we see the weakness in the euro, strength in the dollar, retesting the swings down here around 105. All right, so a lot of things kind of going on in here, and it's volatility, basically. Okay, so look at this continuation of the move. Now we're trading in and below the 250 or 550 figure here. Okay, high liquidity again. All right, let's read it again. Here's our demand here and here. Do we find the aggressive demand? A little bit after trading into that high liquidity. Okay, so maybe we're starting to see the turnaround now. Right, look at the bid now, starting to show some interest. Okay, so we can get in there. Maybe try to look for a pullback into this area here, or we can even put down here. Maybe front run some of that high liquidity down here. Okay, again, we're missing it, right? Missing that pullback. So I'm just going to cancel all here. Okay, this is a powerful move, and we were starting to look for it, but we wanted a pullback, and we didn't get it. Okay, strong move though, very strong. Look at the buying in here. Okay, broke the swing. Now it's starting to look like we're starting to see maybe that transition from sell side to buy side. Okay, let's look at our higher time frame again. Not getting much out of the S&P. I mean, we're still in a strong downtrend move. Okay, we got our pullback here, not to where we wanted, but back into these areas here. High liquidity now on the offer, up at around this 570 level. Mr. No Luck, okay. Yep. Yeah, import costs are going to soar with the tariffs, inflation for the EU, US. I'm worried about the EU. Also Japan. Japan does not like inflation. Yeah, I mean, this might be a big sea change here. I don't know how to read it yet. So, but we're gonna kind of wait, watch, see, and what do other traders think about it? I mean, this is all speculative. We don't know if those plans going to go through, right? We don't know. But traders are making decisions on that, or they're making bets on it. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. No, Japan, exactly. They love inflation. I'm sorry. They hate a strong yen. Absolutely. I mean, they export most of their things. So yeah, a weak yen is always in their interest. And they finagled, with is you know over history with the value of the yen due to that, exactly that. All right, let's see here. We're seeing our buying interest. It's just moving too fast, a little too fast for me there. I would have loved to kind of just scalped it up to this 70 liquidity here after seeing this buying coming in. Let's see. All right, so here, now this is something, okay, we anticipate a pullback or at least a pause after trading into high liquidity here. Okay, let's look for maybe a potential breakout trade here. Okay, so we can do this. We can look for buyers back up above here, or we just traded into high liquidity here, so we can even trade a couple in here. Right, so now this is not a trading strategy, but I mean parts of this can be a trading strategy. Okay, they're bidding up in here. Okay, this I don't like. Now I'm starting to see high liquidity back in at 70. Okay, but what we can do is we can do this. We can put maybe a limit order at this liquidity here, and then let's see if we get filled, and then trade it back up to here, and then we'll see. Maybe we can lift it back up to 77. Okay, or maybe let's see. Maybe even this swing here looks pretty good. Yeah, I like it. I'll do that. So now what we're looking for is let's see if we get our aggressors to come in. Okay, so aggressive buyers, and then we're looking for dumping some off up here, or maybe moving it back up to 77. Okay, so let's take a look at it. All right, they're bidding up underneath here. This is a good sign. Okay, there's structurally there's some good things happening here. First off, high liquidity on the bid filled. Our cluster of buying. Okay, higher lows, cluster of buying into high liquidity, big pullback, and then we got in here in front of some high liquidity. It actually, this zoomed out, this actually looks a little bit better right here. And then now, and they're bidding up in here. So, we have some ideas in here for at least maybe a range bound trade or a potential reversal. And we don't know. Right, so here we just got filled the bottom of the range in here, and that averaged our position here. Okay, so now we're looking for, because of what we just covered, we're looking for our buyers to start to come in. Okay, and let's see if they do. Okay, we're getting a bit of a pullback. This is a good thing here from that move, but we don't have our aggressors in here yet, and that's not good. Okay, we got to get our aggressive buyers in here. And there's a little bit of a toxic move there. Let's see if we can get move higher though into 60, this liquidity here. In fact, maybe we'll reduce some of our risk up here at 60. Okay, makes sense. You know, this is the swing. This might be the range. We can see other areas in the swings up here. So just looking for the move back up into 60, and let's see if we can get that. Nope. Seller's still dropping price. Okay. Okay, below 550 here. Okay, that's not good. Okay, now let's see if we can just get back up above 550 on some buying. There they go. Okay, so this is some trap volume in here. So I am looking for the move back up to this 60. Okay, we should get it, and a stop run should ensue as well. Okay, all we've done so far has gone back up to the 54 swing at this time. There we go. Okay, so we reduced some risk there. We're still looking for our move back up to this 70 liquidity up here though. Right now it's kind of moved in here, right? So I'm going to move. I mean, the market's dynamic. I'm not going to hold on to my and be like stubborn about it. Market changed a little bit. All right, I'm going to change with it. I'm going to front run that high liquidity. That liquidity was here, and I was front running it here. Now I'm going to be in front of it over here instead. Okay. Okay, it's back to our average position right here at 48. Okay, did liquidity change trade in here? Not really. Some did. How's the bid look? They're starting to pull in here. I don't like it, guys. You know, it might do it, but I'm just not seeing a really strong bid in here. We're seeing some aggressors come in, but I know it's higher lows and stuff, but I really like seeing that stronger bid like this underneath it. And it's just not too enticing. All right, so now I'm seeing a strong offer. I'm going to flatten it, and I'm just going to call it quits on that one. Okay, we took some off, and we're not going to take the rest of the risk here. All right. All right. And good idea that we did. Okay. In fact, when we start to see that kind of stuff, we can even think about, wow, okay, we're starting to see that selling momentum come back in here below that area. You can reverse. You can use this reverse button here, but be very careful with this. You know, I would use limit orders instead if you can. Sometimes it's really hard with a fast moving market, but try to use your limit order and you can use these buttons in here as well. You can exit and then, you know, get back in on the sell on the best offer with a limit sell. I'm sorry, on the best bid. All right, let me see if there's any questions. Oh, YouTube, I'm sorry, guys. I haven't answered any questions over here. So, can you see the dome? Sure. We have two different domes in Bookmap. We have Dome Pro, which comes It's included with the price of the Global Plus. Let me show you that one. Okay, pretty fancy dome, pretty nice product here. Okay, it has, it's not supported for this one. Yeah, hold on, we'll go back to NASDAQ here. It's a free floating dome, and here we can open it up, enable it. There it is. Okay, it has all the bells and whistles that you're looking for, and very robust. I mean, look at all these columns in here that you can add in. You know, your volume profile. This is sell side, this is buy side, this is both, or I'm sorry, this is delta, and this is both in here, SVP. Okay. Position in queue, you can see your position in the queue, etc. It's a really great dome. Here you have your this is your aggressors here. Here's your aggressors hitting the ask, hitting the bid, and then you've got your liquidity, of course, like on the bid side here, and then on the ask side here. All right, let's just take a look at this here. You know, there's so many different ways to trade. You know, I mean, like maybe we'll trade back down to this high liquidity here. I'm sorry, big transactions here. Actually, let's try it here. All right, so I am going to. Can I do this? Can I trade into? Should be able to. No, I don't want to use that at all. This is regular NASDAQ. Bookmap. Yeah, I do need to send it here. I cannot. All right, I can trade off of this chart though. This rhythmic chart. I'm sorry. This yeah, the rhythmic chart here. No problem. All right, so let's try that. All right, and I'll open up the Dome Pro product over there, and we are good to go. All right, so it populates. There we go. All right, we were looking for what, 58? Well, it blazed right through it. Look at that. All right, so well, here, let's see. I'm just going to be looking at some volume profile stuff in here, and you know, just some really simple stuff, because you don't. I mean, the dome doesn't really show you much, but I know you guys, a lot of people really like trading from the dome, and like looking at the dome. Okay, so well, let's see. I mean, here we can see we're kind of trying to get through. This is the second retest here, right? So in fact, if it doesn't, we can look for. Hold on, I can't get there quick enough. A trade through. That's not what I wanted to do either. Hold on. Yeah, so if that was our second retest up here and we couldn't get through this area, so we're looking for more selling to start to come in, and I wanted to right click in here and set, yeah, okay, this is my one sell. That was right. Okay, there we go. So now and then we'd get out down here, maybe the bottom of this range in here. Okay, maybe just a little bit in front of it here. There we go. Yeah. God, I think that was a loss actually. Unfortunately, yeah, it was. Anyway, we can go through it again. Okay, so you know, looking for kind of bouncing around between these areas where there's a lot of transactions, and we want to see what the order flow is like up there in some of these areas here. What does that bid look like? What does that offer look like? And we know we have the high volume nodes in here or low volume nodes in certain areas. So yeah, I'm looking actually for some weakness here, and let's try it again. Now we're finding strength, and now we're back up above that area. Okay, so we can even look for. There we go. Let's try to get a pullback in here. So now we're getting strength back up above that high volume node. All right, strong bid. Yeah, I'm just going to flatten all, cancel all here. Anyway, because I don't want to miss it on Bookmap. Anyway, just some ideas there. For the question over in YouTube. Okay. All right, here's a move back to that high volume node, okay, that we just saw. So we have something here, but I'm looking for something around that area here. Let's jump back to our Trader Map Lite, and we're looking for something around that area, though. That's the key. Okay, so what do we have? Well, here's a strong bid down here. Okay, so let's see if we can join into that. Anyway, guys, am I moving too fast here for you? You know, we can take a step back and slow this all down here. I just want to use the webinar here to go through many different things quickly. But the concepts here are going to be the same, right? So for example, let's just take a big step back and look at our higher time frame again. Okay. And then how can we're going to be looking at the same ideas in here. Well, here's our NASDAQ and our turnaround, our potential turnaround here. Okay, so we're just coming back up. Now this is a 15-minute chart, just coming back up into this 570 level. We took some profit up there, I believe, right? At least we definitely had an order up there. Now we're seeing some buyers start to come in. Okay, so first off, we got to see buyers back up above that area. Okay, not bad, not bad. There they go. All right, so now maybe we can look for, we're going to trade off of this chart where we're going to use Bookmap here. Okay, so now we get a pullback here. Okay, that's to be anticipated, but now we're going to look for a move back up into this swing here, these swings. This is where it tested a few times. Okay, so let's take a look here. All right, zoom in, and I'm going to average into this one. So we'll try to get in here. And maybe we can get in here. That's all right. We're in. So okay. So now we're gonna just let this kind of ride here. Okay. We're in way up here, right? But now that transition that we've been talking about and looking for might start to unfold now. Okay? We have something on the higher time frame here. And let me zoom in a little closer here. Okay. Okay, now I lost that candle. I don't know. Okay, the concept's the same, guys. So here we're looking for, and we're finding some buyers flirting with this area. We're looking for the move up to here, though. Okay, so that would be our 600 level. It's actually, the swings are up at 607 on the NASDAQ. We'll look for 600. Okay, so now because we're starting to find buyers in here on this higher time frame, we're just going to kick back and look for the move back up to here, because we've been looking at this really strong move here, and then clusters of buying along the way. And then let's see if we can get our move back up into about 600. Okay, so that's up here, right? That's where that news took place as well, and we did get filled up there. All right, so I'm going to place my order up here, my take profit, right? And this is just, we're going to just look for the same ideas in here. And if we get lots of selling back down below in here, okay, I will consider just getting out. Okay, because that would be momentum down below all of these transactions in here. But right now, I kind of like this. I kind of like this buying, this move to the downside, and then buying again in here, just like that head and shoulders that we went over earlier. Okay, so we're kind of looking for this, and I'm only looking for this leg right now. Okay, so it hasn't really unfolded yet. Okay, but if that leg does, then yeah, this looks like a pretty good area in a measured move to go back up to there. In fact, we can even do that here, a little bit higher time frame. Yeah, looks pretty good. Right, so now we'd be taking this with maybe a micro or two, not large lot or a mini. Okay, because we want this to work out. We're looking at a higher time frame move, and we're looking for this kind of transition to unfold here. Okay. Yeah, you can even look at, God, this chart looks horrible. Hold on. Let's look at 1 week, right? But then we can just look at less bars in here. That do the trick? All right. Well, anyway, this is the idea here. All this momentum to the downside, starting to find some buyers, flirt with the swing up here at this 570 level. So then we're looking for just to move back up into these swings here. And that's it. And we'll let the market kind of breathe here. Okay, we have our idea. Now we just have to give it some time and let this kind of marinate a little bit. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't, our plan is if we see a lot of selling back down into here, we will get out. And that would be about a 20-point loss, where we have like a 35-point gain if we come back up to here. So not quite 2 to 1. If we were a little more patient, we could have gotten in here on the pullback, and it would have been 2 to 1. All right, Mr. No Luck, have a good day. C45, yep, thanks. Yeah, guys, over in YouTube, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Better yet, come over to Discord. Join the community over here. We have a lot of great traders. We have a great community. And we also have a Bookmap Academy that will go through coaching and mentoring for you. We open up the mic for you on Thursdays. You need to participate, though. You need to create some content. You need to mark up your charts so we have something to go over. Yeah, you can look at previous recordings of the Bookmap Academy. It's on our YouTube channel if you want to see kind of what we do. It's a great program, and we really have some great traders there. All right, so anyway, our trade is slowly starting to kind of work for us here. Let's see if we can get some momentum on the buy side. And in fact, if we do, maybe we can even add into this trade here. Right, so let's see here on the bid. Maybe this is a good area. Maybe a little bit lower here. I'll just get in there, and then maybe I'll see if we can. Maybe that was a little too early. But let's see if we can get back up to maybe, well, that would be our measured move. But I want to reduce some risk. So let's look for high liquidity someplace else here, and we'll reduce the risk maybe up here. Okay, and that'll allow us to breathe easy, and then look for our bigger picture trade to unfold. Okay, yeah, as we sit and wait for that, let's go over. Boy, there's not much on the higher time frames. It's not a whole lot to look at here, but let's try it here. We'll look at the ES here, and our higher time frame. Okay, this was exactly what we were looking for earlier in the ES. I'm surprised it didn't go through a little bit more, but this is what we see here on the hourly, at least. Dip below here, and then start to see some profit taking and maybe some buyers here, and then just come back up into the range up in here, right, on this hourly. Now that's it. Now in the daily, there's reasons for it as well. You know, here, this swing up here, kind of bouncing off of that. Okay, that's where the, you know, on the hourly, that's where price opened up, was just about here on that day here. This is all overnight, and then we see the move and the continuation to the upside. Okay, so the trade idea here is not too high time frame, but high enough, I guess, is that we're still in a bullish move, but on the daily, and this is a pullback, right? So we're still looking for buyers here. Maybe one of the things to look at then, if that's the case, and you know you're really still very bullish in here, you can look for the move back up to here and get a gap fill. You may have to hold it over the weekend though. You know, you'd be taking on tremendous risk. I wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying, like, let's suppose it was Monday today. Well, then maybe you would hold it, you know, and look for that. Or, you know, maybe you're bearish and you're looking for this gap fill down into here. That's a pretty big move too. But anyway, you guys can see what I'm talking about in terms of order flow and bigger swings in here. Now we're looking for specific order flow events around those swings. Okay, now that concept is the same thing we've been doing on the lower time frames here as well, as you guys know. All right, so yeah, we reduced some risk here. It traded into that high liquidity, and there's still more demand, so we traded through it. Okay, now bouncing off of it, and then or now through it a little bit. So some back and forth in here. Okay, again, like we saw something in here to add into it, to take a little off, and then we're sitting a little bit easier. And we're still looking for the move higher. Okay, now this head and shoulders kind of reversal type pattern in here may fail, and we know how to deal with it as well. All right, any questions? It's covered a lot, so thanks for coming, everybody. No questions. Okay. All right, guys. So yeah, still we're just going to hold this and look for our measured move to our target here. So now we're starting to see momentum back up above here. This is looking pretty good, and we're looking for that continuation. Don't forget, guys. Let me go through this all next week. Okay, I'm really looking forward to this. I've been waiting for this. So I've been trying to put this together, and we had a small window to put this together. All next week, funded trader webinar series. So any of you guys are trading those evaluation accounts, Bull Knox, Top Step, Apex, whatever it is, we're going to have traders that are trading those, and then to give their insights on how to trade those accounts, because you do have to trade a little differently. And it should be a great series. I'm really looking forward to it. And I demoed earlier. In fact, we're in a position so we can even take a look at it here. Our multi-account product here. Here's our position, and it's spinned it out into 3 accounts. One account here, we took our one lot. Here's our 60.1 account with rhythmic paper trading. We got 2 lots, and with our multiplier, and then our 60.2, we have a 4 lot multiplier. Okay, and then you can see my working orders here as well. Just one, but it's multiplied to the other accounts as well. All right. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for coming. Have a great weekend. Please come on over to Discord. Give us a thumbs up, and join that Bookmap Academy. Create some content, and we'll go through it with you. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. We will catch up with you on Monday with the Funded Trader webinar series. Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.